Most people think the fat they can see is the real problem, the soft fat under the skin, the fat they pinch in the mirror. But the most dangerous fat is the one you can't see at all. Before your weight changes, before your clothes feel tighter, before anyone notices, your body is already storing fat deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your liver, your heart, your organs. This is called visceral fat, and it almost always appears first. Not because you ate too much, not because you were lazy, but because your body was reacting to stress and survival signals. This hidden fat is strongly linked to fatty liver, diabetes, heart disease, and even kidney failure. In many cases, the road to dialysis begins quietly with visceral fat, long before symptoms ever appear. In today's video, you'll discover why the body chooses visceral fat as its first storage place, how modern life keeps triggering this survival response, and what this hidden fat is really telling you about your health. If you've ever struggled with belly fat that seems to appear for no clear reason, hit the like button so more people can understand the real biology behind it. And subscribe to the channel if you want to keep learning how your body warns you early before serious problems begin. Now, let's uncover why visceral fat always comes first. Now, let's slow down and understand what visceral fat really is, because it's very different from the fat you can touch. Subcutaneous fat sits just under the skin. It mainly affects how you look, but visceral fat lives deep inside the body. It wraps around vital organs, the liver, the pancreas, the intestines, the heart. It sits right next to the systems that control energy, blood sugar, and survival. And this is not an accident. The body places visceral fat there on purpose. In biology, nothing is random. Visceral fat is designed to be a fast-access energy reserve. When the brain senses danger, it wants fuel close to the organs that keep you alive, not far away under the skin. So it stores fat deep inside first, close to the liver, close to the bloodstream, where energy can be released quickly if needed. This made perfect sense in the past, when danger meant running, fighting, surviving harsh environments. But today, danger is mostly psychological. Stress, pressure, deadlines, money worries, lack of rest. Yet the body responds the same way. It keeps building this internal energy reserve, layer by layer, day by day. And because you can't see it in the mirror, most people don't realize it's happening. You might feel mostly normal, your weight might not change much, but inside, visceral fat can already be growing. This is why doctors often say someone is metabolically unhealthy, even if they don't look overweight. The danger was building quietly, deep inside, long before the outside changed. Visceral fat appears first because the body always prepares for survival first. Appearance comes second. Comfort comes second. Long-term health comes second. Biology's top priority is keeping you alive today, even if it slowly creates problems tomorrow. And once you understand this, belly fat stops feeling mysterious. It becomes a message, a sign that the body has been living in emergency mode for too long. And this is where visceral fat stops being harmless storage. Because visceral fat is not quiet. It doesn't just sit there holding energy. It behaves like an active organ. It releases chemicals, hormones, inflammatory signals, straight into the bloodstream. These signals travel to the liver, to the heart, to the pancreas, to the brain, and they slowly change how the body works. Blood sugar becomes harder to control. Insulin becomes less effective. The liver becomes overloaded with fat. Inflammation rises across the system. The heart works harder under constant strain. The kidneys begin filtering blood that is more toxic and inflamed. This is why visceral fat is so strongly linked to fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, and kidney stress. Not because of size, but because of biology. Visceral fat constantly tells the body, stay in survival mode. It keeps stress chemistry elevated. It keeps emergency systems running, even when life is calm. So the body never fully recovers, never fully repairs, never fully rests. And here's what makes this especially dangerous. You can feel mostly fine while all of this is happening. There may be no pain, no obvious symptoms, just small changes. Getting tired more easily, brain fog becoming normal, belly slowly growing, cravings increasing, sleep becoming lighter. These are not random. They are the body struggling under the pressure of internal fat and inflammation. This is why so many serious conditions seem to appear suddenly. One year, someone feels okay. The next year, they're diagnosed with diabetes, or fatty liver, or heart disease, or kidney problems. But biologically, the process started long before. Visceral fat was the first warning, the quiet beginning of a long chain reaction. And if that chain keeps going, eventually the system reaches its limit. This is how some people end up needing lifelong medication, or constant medical monitoring, or even dialysis. Not overnight, but after years of internal stress building silently, visceral fat is often the very first step on that road. Not the end, but the beginning. Now, here's the encouraging part. Visceral fat is not permanent. It only stays while the body believes it needs to stay in survival mode. The moment the system begins to feel safer, the biology starts shifting. Emergency signals calm down. Inflammation slowly lowers. Hormones begin to rebalance. And the body finally receives permission to release stored energy. This is why some people notice their belly shrinking during calmer periods of life. Not during extreme diets, not during intense workouts, but during times when stress reduces, sleep improves, daily rhythm stabilizes. The body responds quickly to safety. And this leads to a powerful self-experiment you can try. Not as a punishment, not as a strict diet, just as a biological reset. For the next 30 days, focus on sending your body the opposite of emergency signals. That means creating more predictable routines, sleeping at consistent times, eating simpler, steadier meals, reducing constant stimulation, and giving yourself moments of real calm each day. You're not trying to lose weight. You're observing how your body reacts when survival mode eases. Pay attention to your energy, your mental clarity, your cravings, your waist measurement, your sleep quality. Many people are surprised by how quickly visceral fat begins to shift when stress drops. Not because of willpower, but because biology finally switches from storage to release. This 30-day experiment is not about perfection. It's about letting your body feel safe again and watching what happens when it does. And this is why catching visceral fat early matters so much. Not because of appearance, not because of the scale, but because of where this road often leads if nothing changes. When visceral fat and inflammation keep building year after year, the strain doesn't stay in the belly. It spreads. The liver struggles to process energy properly. Blood sugar becomes harder to control. Blood vessels stiffen. The heart works under constant pressure, and the kidneys begin filtering blood that is increasingly inflamed and damaged. For many Australians, this slow biological process ends in something they never expected. Daily medication, constant doctor visits, loss of energy, loss of independence, and in severe cases, dialysis. Not as a sudden event, but as the final stage of years of silent stress and internal fat buildup, dialysis is not a punishment. It's the medical system stepping in when organs can no longer keep up. But for many people, the path toward it began quietly, with stress, with emergency mode, with visceral fat appearing first, long before symptoms felt serious. This is why the early phase is so powerful. When visceral fat is just beginning, when the body is still adaptable, when systems can still rebalance, this is the window where small biological shifts can change long-term outcomes. Not through fear, not through extreme measures, but through understanding what the body is responding to, because when stress decreases, when rhythms stabilize, when emergency signals calm, the body often begins correcting itself. Visceral fat can shrink. Inflammation can lower. Energy can return. Organs can recover. The body wants to heal. It just needs the right conditions. So if there's one thing to take away from today's video, it's this. Visceral fat is not a failure. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not your body working against you. It's your body doing exactly what biology designed it to do, preparing for danger, storing energy for survival, responding to long-term stress. The problem is not that your body adapted. The problem is that modern life keeps the danger signals turned on too long. When emergency mode never switches off, visceral fat keeps building, inflammation keeps rising, and health slowly shifts in the wrong direction. But the body is incredibly resilient. When stress calms, when rhythms stabilize, when safety returns, the system can begin correcting itself. Visceral fat can reduce. Organs can recover. Energy can come back. This isn't about perfection. It's about giving biology the right environment. Understanding these early warning signs gives you power. Power to act before serious damage happens. Before medication becomes permanent. Before medical systems have to step in. Your body has been speaking quietly for a long time. Visceral fat is one of its earliest messages. If this video helped you see belly fat in a completely new way, give it a like so more people can learn the real biology behind it. And subscribe to the channel if you want to keep decoding how the body warns us early, signal by signal, before long-term health problems develop. In the next video, we'll uncover the warning phase most people miss and why serious disease rarely begins suddenly. Your body isn't broken. It's been adapting. Now you're finally learning how to listen.